Hi guys, welcome to my second recording. I am doing 2 in 1 week. This may be my schedule. I probably will record on Sundays, I think, and then possibly post it on Mondays. So expect this to be on Monday. And into load. Let's go to Canyon Drop. And we'll pick up where we left off. There are going to be times when we get further into the game that I might start the game with it being a little further along than when I last left you guys, because I did some background stuff. But I will mention that before I do anything, so let's go about seeing how this goes. Apparently Jax earned a skill point. What do we got here, Jax? It's going to improve farming. I will go into this next. I won't end up going into these because these cost more skill points. And I want to be able to have a little bit more morale going before I go there. Have a battery going. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and whoopsie, that's not where you go. We're gonna do that. Once I have this area emptied, I'm probably going to end up putting a sculpture here and a sculpture here, just for a little bit more morale when they run across this. But that's going to be master. Like a masterpiece as opposed to a crude one. So. I am going to go ahead and also dig up this. And we're just going to do a 3 this way. And then I'm actually going to build a wall here for these. Because I want to get the buried objects. Once I have this part digged out, I'm actually going to have this wall go up and just kind of enclose this in. This is still temporary. I'm throwing that out there now. It is still temporary, but what I'm going to do for it is try to keep it contained, at least until I can get when I switch this over to the proper latrine. It's going to be a closed system where the water sieve goes through and cleans the water and the polluted. It's literally just going to be a closed cycle. Am I going to have to prime it a little bit first? Yes, but that's okay. let's find out what we got here. Okay, dirt. Cooking, supplying, farming, tidying, green thumb, construction. These two are very good ones. I'm not too concerned about the biohazard because I did the increased germ resistance. So instead of this one being a biohazard, it's just literally going to be a normal dupe. Look at what we got for skills. Okay, so you have construction, farming, farming. I have 3 farmers. I actually do not have a cook, so we're going to get the cook. Because she does not need the light, I wanted to make sure that I actually put her in here. Otherwise, it's entirely possible that the assignment would have been in the wrong area. Schedule. And I don't mind that she's up there. I don't like doing just 2s on each one. I will end up adding another schedule, but I'm going to wait on that. Because I prefer there to be quite a bit of overlap happening. I need another dupe before I start adding another schedule. I am, however, going to create that schedule. And oh, okay. So this is a tool I haven't used yet. I usually just do it by hand. Neat. Okay. What I'm doing is just going to try to dig this out. This here, it has this area. This has been overpressured. Not yet. I lied. It actually might be. It says it's idle. It doesn't say overpressured yet. So we'll wait on that. But once it has been overpressured, it won't go off anymore. Which means the heat that it emits won't be quite so bad. And I'm not going to dig out this whole area because of it. Right here is the granite. And like I said in the previous episode, it does slow the transfer, but it doesn't stop it. The one that stops it is the bisylite. So we're just going to wait on that to dig that part out until I can tame it, which won't happen until way later. I am, however, going to make a tank here. Oh, okay. Alright, that is great. Okay, this is going to get put down to 0. And then once those are completely dead, because I don't want to waste the electricity there, I'm going to dismantle them. And then I'm going to put 2 new batteries in there. Oh yeah, you have a small bladder, that's right. Red t-shirt anyway. Come here. Bio. No, actually you don't. Interesting. I wonder if you started the stuff sooner. Research. Why do you do that? I have no idea. Okay. We're gonna go into this here, which will give us the water cooler, and then this will also give us the advanced research. And then we are actually going to go through and get this, because it's going to help move the water around. And then we're going to move into the gases. And I will probably end up going into this one and this one. And then the pharmacy. As well as this area. I like to get all of my tier 1 done first before I move into the big stuff. I'm a little strange like that. It does help, in my opinion, to have all of that done. So, this... How do I want to do this? Do I want that low? Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the tracking on my mouse that causes that. Or there's some weird lagging. So this part here, I am not real worried about. I am concerned right here because the water will fall. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to dig out this direction and then dig down, have them fill in this down here, and then I can start moving things. I'm quite literally going to have this corner built in first before I start any other part of this. I don't feel like trying to clean up spilled water. And I finished this up first though. Alright, and this is going to help a lot because right here is going to be some polluted dirt that shows up soon. Alright, this has been done fixed. Okay, so organic, polluted dirt. And then we'll put that as a 6 so that that gets moved quickly. Okay, and these all need to be deconstructed. And disable disinfect. Like I said, when they go through and dump it off, they'll come back and wash their hands. I'm not concerned about it. Power. One's down. Ooze down. I really prefer the smart batteries over the jumbo batteries or even the single batteries, but the jumbo batteries do work greatly. The smart batteries are very expensive though, so I only use those to regulate, like, for automation, really. Like for the coal generators and things like that is how I do those. And we are going to go to this one and place you right there. Back that back up to 30. The thing with the carbon dioxide is it will eventually um, suppress the polluted oxygen. Like right here, there's a thick enough layer here that it's not off gassing. The problem with that is that it has to be a very, 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 very thick layer before it won't off gas. Oh, achievement earned. I'm not particularly concerned about what one that is. Now, Echo Ridge will disable this. Um, I don't usually. If it gets to the point where I'm concerned about water, I will. But I don't see the need to really disable it, especially if I know they're going to be going into hot areas, which this area here is warmer. Same with this area, with the exception of the oxalite. The oxalite is not. These are all warmer areas. Now, if it's scorching, that's really, really important. Um, but I don't see a need to do anything right off. Okay, so these guys are idle. Let's get you guys moving again. We're gonna go down here. 3, 2, 3, 3. Down. And by down, I mean we're going to go ahead and put a ladder right here because we're going to end up having a ladder system there anyway. It's literally going to go up to the top, but I'm not going to dig this part out yet. Like I said, I want to have this portion here done so that I can have this done. Okay, so that's 3. If I go up here, this is going to go all the way across because I like being able to run across this. So, and I prefer my sets to be 4 opposed. So there, this one's going to be end up being 2, simply because there is, this here's all going to be dug out in the beginning. I may end up getting rid of these. I'm not that concerned about it. I'm going to have ladder going this way as well, so on either side so that they can get in there. Especially since all of this is going to have, like, all along the bottom here, there's going to be stuff falling. There's going to be the debris, like in here. So it's best the best way to get rid of it is to go into it, and they're not going to be particularly thrilled with me over it, but they're going to go in there. Yeah, that's for the rocketry program, and I'm not gonna lie, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I am also going to end up putting like an oxygen generator right here or right here to help oxygen to help have oxygen over this direction. I'm not as concerned about it though. And how long do you incubate for? Oh, you're almost done. Okay. So we're gonna have a new one here soon for that one. You 18 out of 25. They'll be alive at that point in between the two of them. There's gonna be two there. They will not. I'm pretty sure that the shine bugs won't. They only lay one egg. It's possible that I'll get another egg out of them, but I highly doubt it. I'm gonna let them dig this part here, and then I'm gonna dig across here and this one. That will let me fill in this entire area, and once this part's filled in, I am not going to be concerned about any water going down the here. They're going to have to fill in all of this though. I'm going to put that too so that I can fill in all that. Actually, you know what I'm going to, once this part has been fixed, I'm actually going to cancel that because then I can have this spill over without having to do any pumping, which saves me on battery power. Hurry for these two can be last in this area. I literally want all of this done first. Hello, cat. I'm not going to continuously apologize for my cat talking, so if you guys hear her, well, I don't want to continuously kick her out of her room either. She has a perfectly open door, she just prefers to be next to me. I'm going to lower all of these by one because it will make it an easier stair step for them. Than them having to jump two. It'll make it so that they only have to jump one. And the nice thing about this is they can I'm trying to say build and dig at the same time, and it doesn't work. They can build at an angle. So this part here will be filled in. skeleton. Right, now everybody's idle. Guess what, guys? You get to do a dig sequence. Okay, give me the ladder, please. Sorry, guys, I am trying to work around my cat. Okay. Come on. Dig that way. It's auto-saving, which is why you see that lag there. I'm going to... Okay, and do a secondary. You can't build across this here because the pipes don't allow it. I call them pipes. There's an interesting looking tube. But, yeah, they don't allow it, so it has to be clear. Not entirely sure why, but it is. But as you can see, if I hadn't, this would have all spilled. And I'm going to end up moving this up once there's more water in here. Building in a weird location always means you have weird setups to begin with. Actually, I think I'm going to just pop this at 3. Because that makes it a lot easier. Cancel. And they will do all the building first. They won't do the digging first, depending upon what's going on. I haven't gone across here because, like I said, I'm planning on moving that up. And depending upon how they decide to work with this, I'm going to have a way across completely. Because you can walk across this. You can't walk across empty space, at least 2 wide. They can't do it. They will do 1, they can jump 1, they can't jump 2. I also need to keep an eye on calories. Because this is survival. That is a thing. Probably gonna end up putting the kitchen up here. But I'm not gonna do it just yet. Because the longer I can get on longer I can get by on Muckroot, the less likely I'm going to have to resort to meal ice, pickled meal ice. Because pickled meal ice, while it lasts a very long time, it is not does not do great for morale. I prefer having things that have much better morale than pickled meal ice. And there are some foods that have a plus to morale. Not everything does, but a lot does. Sometimes you just have a person who decides to sleep in a little bit, which, you know what? I'm okay with that. As long as everything gets done, I'm not concerned about whether or not everything is done quickly. I don't see a point in that. And this will also drop lower once this part has been dug out, because this part here is actually keeping the level higher than it actually is. However, what I'm going to do is give a bigger priority to this area. I want that done before she starts over here. I want all of this dug out and everything sitting nicely before we go and say, okay, let's add more water to this. And while they're digging out and building, I am going to go ahead and let them do it. I am going to pause so you guys don't have to sit here and watch this with me. So it'll be a much bigger quick second for you guys. Okay, so right here, you can see what I mean that it would have spilled. The water goes into the empty section, so it absolutely would have fallen. I had to show you guys that. And like I said, I didn't want to have to clean out water from underneath here. We're almost done with this area, and then once that's done, we can go over here. Priority. Switch that back. So now that they're done over here, they're gonna move over here. I don't have to dig out that sand because it's already gonna fall because of this right here, but I like to pretend I'm doing something right. And there it goes. We're gonna get rid of you. New print available. Choose print. Okay, so this is a seed for a Mica plant. I'm tempted to get it, like I am for most of the seeds here, but this requires certain things that I just don't have at this start. It needs, I believe it's peat. I could be wrong. Let's see, do I have anything interesting in here? Decrease science, which is a -3. You have a +1, so it's a -2. That's not helpful. Decorating, tidying, supplying. And you can't do any cooking errands. So actually, this is a good dupe to get. Am I going to be changing some names? Yes. I just haven't gotten that far yet. I am going to pause though and go into my schedule. As you can see, I now have a total of 6 dupes. So I can start moving people to this schedule here. I'm going to go ahead and move Camille and Askin as the last 2 dupes so that there is a steady group of a minimum of 4 almost at all times. And then we'll also have during this area here the full group of 6. Staggered off times helps a lot. Actually, I think I need to move this one over 1. There we go. Which means I need to move this one over 1. Because I like them to have there not to be anybody not doing anything during this, like the overlap to not be quite so obvious. Let's put it that way. So this is a much better go through. And like I said, once I get people who are like early morning dupes, I can move them to this schedule and move these guys to a different schedule. Once I have night dupes, I can move them to this schedule here or even this schedule here, and they'll be okay. And once I get into the point of having like 20 plus dupes, there's going to be quite a few schedules. And I'm going to have about 4, possibly 3. It depends on how many bathrooms I have. I currently have 3. So I'm probably going to have 3 on each dupe, on each schedule for now until I can get proper like a proper latrine area or even do individual apartments. I like doing the individual apartments. That has been something I enjoy a lot because then they have their own little area and I get a bonus for it. Individual little dupe apartments, you know, they have their own restroom, they have their own bed, they have, you know, their own decor and all that stuff. So that is something I asking. We're gonna put you into approve tidying, Camille, supply because we don't need cooking just yet. I am going to do that, just not yet. Because what's going to end up probably happening is I'm going to put some mush bars in, and mush bars don't require cooking. Anybody can do mush bars. All right, get everybody back going. And then once this has been built, I'm going to, well, that's going to fall. So I'm not real worried on that. I'm going to scratch that. Take that out so it's a nice perfect square to make things easy. As you saw, it fell. Now they get to build that, go back up, and then this water here will drop, and then continue. I'm going to wait for this to level itself out. Yes, I know you're cold. You're fine. All of you are fine. Okay, that's a very short area. I'm probably going to extend all of this out. I just haven't done it yet. Because that's a very small kitchen. And in and of itself, the kitchen doesn't really need to be large. And I am going to get rid of the mush machine, so maybe? We'll see. Okay, the water's done there, I'm going to mop you. Once that's mopped, this will go away and it will level itself. Dig that. And here, we're going to dig that across. This is the last layer of stuff I'm going to dig out. At least until this goes dormant. Oh no, it's overpressured, so it's not going to. That's what I thought. I thought that had gone overpressured. So I'm going to end up going into this area then. Actually, I have to get this water. And I'm not real worried about the heat going from this area too much. I don't like it, but this is the area I'm more concerned with, because this area is a lot warmer, as you can see. And right here is where the heat is transferring, because there's an atmosphere, and heat, the oxygen transfers heat really, really well. As you can see, this vacuum doesn't transfer heat, any heat. This is literally cold because there's vacuum right here. As you can see, this abyssalite, while the abyssalite's warm, it actually doesn't transfer heat. If I, just the cold biome, is there a cold biome? Not one I can see. Once I find a cold biome, I will show you what I mean. Okay. Research. Let's go ahead and move into this. We're gonna do this here. And this here. But I'm not uber concerned about it right now. Like I said, this area is going to probably be the kitchen. I might actually put it over here. But that's going to be after I've gotten rid of the water. And what I'm doing right now is actually trying to get to that. Like I said, with the Sweetles, I'm probably going to leave the majority of them wild. I am going to dig this part here. Give them a little bit more room. And then they can also pollinate the spindly growth fruit. Well, the nice thing about these particular biomes is they actually give more, like, yeah, they have the sulfur, but they also give more copper. Like, usually copper is a very finite, with the exception of the copper meteors. It's a very, very finite material. Right along with the gold and whatnot, unless you find either the meteors or a volcano that produces, you know, copper or gold or, you know, what have you. It's very finite. And unless you have an infinite supply of it, like the volcanoes, you're SOL for refined materials once it's gone. Can you reclaim some as you replace it with other things? Yes. It's fairly difficult though. But in this area, yeah, like this gives you more copper. Like normally I would just literally have what's in this little biome here and maybe some at the top of the map or the bottom of the map. You won't get any more. This area here has more. Like I promise you, this is more than I would normally get. Chlorine gas. I'm gonna have to be careful not to dig this out. Okay, so I have idle people. Not good. Plumbing, bottle opener. I'm gonna pop this right there. I am gonna switch that out eventually with a mesh tile, but for right now it's fine. I am also going to put, I'm going to dig this out eventually, but I'm going to, for right now, put that there. I'm going to switch that out also with a mesh tile and put one here. This is going to be for, that is not where I meant to put that. I had a moment of lag. Here we go. This is going to be for these bottles here. This, once this one gets emptied and there's the polluted water there, is going to go through this one. But we have not technically discovered it yet, so all we see is the water here. Yay! Okay, I'm going to put this as all liquids for right now. Enable auto bottle. Disabled auto bottle. That's the problem with the enable auto bottle, because it's actually going to start trying to fill it from the thing you're trying to, like this thing. Sometimes it does and sometimes it does. It's very wonky. But once this has been, once these parts have been removed, I'm going to go across this way. I'm going to go ahead, actually, click on the water bottles. Sweep. 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 Once that's done, I'm going to level this up and start digging this part out. Can I put sandstone here? Yes, I'm not going to. I'm just going to go ahead and put dirt there. I don't care enough. And I'm going to go ahead and go up with this ladder. Boop. Give them something to do. Because I got more water up here. This, I could technically just stair step it down, which I'm probably going to end up doing once this has been dug out. All right, you done? Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and that's 5 tiles. They are not going to be able to reach that last row of tiles, but I am putting it there, so when I do extend the ladder a little bit, which I'm going to do just to get rid of it, it'll be done. And actually, if I go ahead and just continue this over, they'll get that part too. And then once this is done, I will add a ladder going down this way and go all the way down. But I'm then going to dig out this and then put the pump in here to continue it. The next thing I'm going to say is that the let's go ahead and dig that. Deconstruct that one. My videos would probably only be an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes, which makes it seem like we're not going to get a whole lot done. Could I pause it and have you guys, you know, see more finished product? Yes. I really want to do that to an extent. Like I did it earlier because you didn't really need to sit and see them try to dig something out. Yes, I know it doesn't reach the water. I'm not too worried over it because I'm going to start pumping from here into here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the ladder down. I'm going to dig this part out, this one out, and have a square. This I can mop later. I can build a bridge across this of ladders and mop that. Okay, I got some things. Got the sink. Got the proper lavatory, the shower. And that's the gunk extractor is for the bionic people. I'm not ready for that. And there's my mesh tile. I'm gonna switch you and you. And then that part is going to move to this. Can you be reached? Okay, supposedly that can't reach that. I don't believe that, because I know for a fact they can go further than that, but I will just put a ladder here in order to do that. You have food poisoning. I'm very confused. You should not have food poisoning. The only thing I can think of is that they didn't wash their hands for some reason or another. There's water. I don't know why they didn't, but it's very irking. And then all the carbon dioxide in here is just literally going to sit in here as the water level goes up. This will go up, and we can be less concerned about the water levels in here. I'm going to dig that up. Eventually, one of them's going to get that. Which one? I don't know. One of them will. I can get research going. Do not understand how she managed to get food poisoning. I'm gonna get the electrolyzers, these. Excellent. And then additionally, what will end up happening is the carbon will all sink down here into this little carbon sink that's going to be what happens. Yes, down here I can see the hydrogen, but I'm not going to dig into that yet because I don't feel like trying to bother with major eye irritation and minor irritation. That's going to be a pain in the rear to do. I don't feel like doing it right now. And this is done. I'm gonna dig all the way across, get all of that. Did I enable auto harvest for that? I thought I had. Yes. Okay. There. We'll go get it. Good. While the second shine bug's here, this will be covered more because it's such a small area that the two of them will continue having lights. Still don't know how she managed to get food poisoning. That confuses me quite a bit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys skip this so that you have a little bit more time with me. Okay, so there was an oops. Apparently this got switched out, and before I caught it, they put the polluted water to this one. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So what we're gonna do is we're going to do a square, and then we're going to corner build into this, and that will actually destroy the polluted water. That is something I learned from Echo Ridge, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna up the priority for that. There's so much water and polluted water in here now. Hopefully that will actually kill off once I get the source of the polluted water gone. I'm normally better at catching that. Normally much better at catching that. As you can see, I finally dig that part out. I actually pre-built this part and pre-built this part. I didn't go through that because they would try to build through the dirt without digging anything out. That's not part of their AI. Sorry, guys. But once, now that that's done, I can go ahead and just do a build there. And this requires power, so we're going to continue that and link it. I did go through and do quite a bit of research while I was waiting for them to finish doing that slowly. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and get another digger. Tidying would be great, and I would love this, but they're a bombless stomach, and I'm not doing that. I don't care about the requires light because I have set it for it, but I'm not doing the bombless stomach. Pause. Search. As you can see, I went through and got this. I went through and filled that in. I'm gonna go ahead and fill these in. Then I'm going to get that one, get that one, and get this one. And then I'm going to go through and actually go ahead and get these. And then I'm going to build the supercomputer. I haven't built it yet because I'm not too concerned about it. But that's going to be needed in order to start ranching the hatches, which will help me get carnivore if I'm lucky enough to get it. If I'm not, then it is what it is. I got the rock crusher and this. This is needed to get refined metals, which I need for conductive wire, which is much better than the 2-strand wire I have here. It can hold a bigger load. This only holds up to 1,000 watts. There's not a whole lot on here right now, which is fine, but the potential on there right now is 444, which means that if a lot of things are running all at once, it will equal up to 144. That's not the case for the conductive wire, which is 2,000, which is a much better thing. Okay, they're working on that. Once this is it, I'm going to corner build this and fill it in and destroy that polluted water, and then hopefully the water will, like, it's already decreasing from what it was. So the food poisoning germs will go away eventually. It just takes a little while. And you need to have the source of the pollution gone. Oh, whoops. That's right, I was gonna move schedules around. Okay, so let's see here. Actually, no, she can stay on that one. Never mind. I technically don't have the calories for this, but that's part of why I opened up this area, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the micro musher up here. That is not where that's supposed to be. Exit. For some reason, it likes to default, like if I'm going into something that has electricity, it defaults to power wires when I go into deconstruct. That's not what I need. Like if I, or cancel, if I go into cancel, it will automatically go into power wires. Yes, these things need power, but not everything that I put down, it requires the power. Like I switched to the egg cracker. Egg cracker doesn't require power. And now technically I have the room here to put a fridge and the spice grinder, and I can enclose all this in, and this will be a kitchen. I need to put a wash bin. And this will give me a bonus. This will be the world's smallest kitchen. I am not a fan of it. This will work for right now. I will end up going up one more and putting a light in here, but I'm not going to do that this current moment. Gained another skill. Oh, Rowenden. Okay, well, crop tending. So for this, I have just the liquid pipe need to get done and the actual pump. And then this will pump the water directly into here. All right, and now priority you. So we're gonna bop you up to a 7. We're gonna get rid of that. Pop that back down. And then I'm gonna deconstruct all of this once that's gone. And as you can see, no polluted water. We can go ahead and deconstruct all of that. Now I could continue the ladder system here. I'm not going to, because I shouldn't be down here for more than picking up some stuff. As you can see, the water's going down because this structure is being eliminated. This will equal out here soon. Okay, and we're going to make it so they're going, when they go in here, they're going to wash their hands. Yes, I'm having them do that because I still don't know how this one managed to get food poisoning. She should not have. Right. Gonna go like that. And I'm gonna put that there. Once we dig that up, I'm going to actually start stair stepping this. They're only 2 tiles high, and that's all I need. They don't actually need to have 3. I like doing 3 because it's easier for them to go up. Also going to square this out because it makes it easier to pump. And I'm not actually going to overwhelm this strand too much. I'm going to pump this out and then I'm going to pump that out. Because I think with the addition of these will actually equal out to almost 1,000. And this one, that actually, I'm not going to put this one on there at all yet because it's not needed. They are like, I don't have the grilling thing for it, and I'm not really too concerned about any of that at this moment. Once this is in, I can start doing mush bars, which aren't good. They don't have a great morale, but they will be better. And like I said, once this has been done, I actually can't work the the machine right now because this doesn't have access to water. It requires water. Who has Ren? We're gonna go ahead and give her the advanced research. As you notice, she actually has a very high morale, which is interesting because there's like a lot of poor decor because of all the debris. So a lot of these guys have a very high morale, which I find interesting. Pei doesn't. But Pei is also our newest person. The newer you are, the lower morale you have. So they have a very decent morale going on here, and I'm not sure how that manages to happen. But I'm not too concerned about it either. And the pumps also just suck up power. They really do. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go this way. I'm essentially getting rid of things. And this is gonna go across this direction, and I'm gonna get rid of those that way. Once this is lower, I am going to dig out like all of this. Found a chlorine gas vent, which is helpful in certain things, but not in others. Got the airflow tile, which will be very helpful. Liquid valve. I've never used the liquid valve. I probably should, but I don't. The airflow tile is helpful because it will actually help me move the carbon dioxide that they emit out of the quarters. Because if you leave them, not necessarily enclosed in, because you use this door, which allows airflow, it allows it out, but it takes a long time. And if you leave it long enough, it actually doesn't. You build up a layer of it, and I don't like that. So what I will do is I'll put an airflow tile at the bottom of their bunk, and it will sink eventually, but it makes it so that there isn't a layer of carbon dioxide in their rooms or something like that. I literally allow it to sink into the carbon sink. Now, another thing that I'm going to end up doing is, okay, that is one. I'm going to do a infinite storage, which is something that Echo Ridge does. And it's when you take 2 of the automatic dispensers, which is where my research, there's my research. I'm gonna go up here. 2 of these puppies. And because this is technically, it will store it, but it also spits it back out. Now, if you tell it to like, if you have automation and all that stuff going on with it, you don't have to. But what I prefer doing is, and what he does, and I've really enjoyed doing this because it makes it so that I don't have 90 bajillion storage bins everywhere, is I will take this, set 2 of them facing each other, and just dump it in a hole. A hole that they can still reach, but a hole nonetheless. And it helps concentrate all of the negative decor for this. Makes it so that anything that gets swept into it, they won't, like, they have everything they need in one area. And it's great. This is a smart storage bin. The automatic sweeper, I'm half tempted to have them everywhere, because they will actually pick up the stuff for you and then deliver it for you as well. You don't have to do a damn thing. It would be great, but I'm not going to do that. Everything else, okay, right into here. I'm gonna do this one, grab this, and then grab my medication area. I need to put a second wheel. I need to put a second wheel because, sorry guys, one person is not going to be able to charge these batteries while that pump is going. And he is not going to be able to run constantly either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move the wheels up here. I'm going to deconstruct that one. And then 2 at one time will be able to power 2 batteries much quicker than the single person. What are you doing, honey? I have no idea. So confused. I think that one person got the errand and then another person got the errand and the other person decided not to do the errand. Like, there's several things you guys could be doing. Pick one. I'm actually planning on moving this down until it's at least kind of in the water. This will fill up faster than they can empty it. I'm not too concerned about it. It's just... Alright, hold on, guys. I got a phone call coming in. Sorry about that, guys. My grandmother was calling. Okay, So these got finished. I'm actually going to go ahead and let all three of them run before I disconnect this and let these charge up. What I'm going to end up doing afterwards is disconnecting this, but adding another battery. Cat. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and put you a little bit further down so you have access to some water. Deconstruct you. Excellent. And place. And once this is done, they'll run, this will charge up and be another power source for this. As you can see, they didn't take too long to charge, like they charged up and then they're down pretty far. Whose errand is this? Bernard? Okay. Okay, everybody good? Everybody's good. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go ahead and continue that up. I'm gonna build it up to here and then I'm gonna go across this direction. And then I'm actually gonna break into this. And I'm legit gonna leave it as one because I'm not gonna do two because actually you can actually spill over into the other areas like that and I don't want to do that. How much do I have on this wire now? Okay. Alright, got mush bars. I'm gonna go ahead and do a thing of 40. Are mush bars great? No, absolutely not. But you can go into here and do fried mush bars. And those are better. They're still not great. They are better though. And in here, what you would normally have is fried mushrooms, gristleberry, pickled meal, and that'd be about it. I added in a mod that lets me do mushroom soup where I can go ahead and do mushrooms and water and make a soup, and it gives me a quality good, which is a +3 plus an 8 to morale. Or I can do spicy mushroom soup, where I can add a pitcher of pepper nut and give me great with a +4 and a +12. Gristleberry, normally you literally will have just the berry, or you would fry the berry And it's a +1 to morale, but it's a quality of poor. It's not great. It's better than some things, but it's not great. I added it in this mod that will let me put the bristleberry into a soup. It makes it a great as a +4 and a +12 to morale. It gives me something else I can do with the berries. Mushmar's going in there. Alright. I prefer having multiple things I can do with my foods, not just the one. And because I have the DLCs, I also have the roasted grapefruit nut as well. So that's also would be a basic one. But my mod also adds in tom yum, which lets me do, basically it's a soup, but it's a superb with +5 and a +16 to morale. Now, I haven't discovered one of the ingredients, which is cooked seafood, which I'll get once I have the pacu and the pacu fillets. So I'm not too concerned with that one. So this is okay. But it lets me add mushrooms, the pepper pitcher, and the cooked seafood, and then I get tom yum soup. And I also have the option of pho. Now with this one, I need the nosh bean, which I don't have. I have not actually seen nosh bean the entire time. I don't know which particular biome it goes in, but I've never seen the nosh bean. And I also need meat, which is once I have, you know, the hatches going, I'll get meat. But this one is also a great and a +12 to morale. This gives me more options for early game pluses to morale. In here, I believe this is part of it as well. This is some kind of like wrap. But it doesn't give me the name in English, unfortunately. But it's actually 50 cycles before this spoils, so that's kind of cool. It's not great for morale, it's only a 0, but it's better than nothing, and I need either a Megafauna grain or a sleet wheat grain. But I can add it to egg and some tallow in an electric grill, and I will get, it looks like it's a fried egg type thing. It's like a fried egg wrap. This is with bog jelly, some kind of like vegetable type wrap. Same thing with this one. But if you notice with these are all superb foods. Like this was like a type of sushi type thing. So these are literally all superb foods. I just wish they were like the name was in English. My only gripe about this particular thing. But this is all from the same mod. But this allows for more things. So I'm super thrilled with that. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in because it not being plugged in is bugging me. Gonna add that there. Duplicate skills. Balnier, we're going to put you in improved construction. I'm actually not too worried about the farming for him. I will probably eventually go into that with him. I'm not going to, though. Okay. We're going to pop him into critter ranching because I want to be able to move the critters around, like the hatches around eventually. Probably sooner rather than later. All right, and we're going to go ahead and dig that up. Now, there is a possibility that I'm going to actually have to make this taller. I don't know yet. It depends. It's possible that I did this the exact height it needs. I still don't know. Yeah, once I add this on there, it will put the potential for this to be up pretty much a little bit above the 1,000 watt. As long as it doesn't spike, it will be okay. I will probably end, so that's why I'm not running like a second pump. I do one pump at a time because early wise, this is not great wire. But we're going to drop it at there because we're actually hitting an hour and 30 minutes here soon. So we actually got quite a bit done. Not as much as I would have preferred, but we did get quite a bit done today. So thank you, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have a good night, guys.